Doing today? And there we go. And there's the gang. There's Jaron, Egan, Brussy, Charlie from Belgium. I think it was Belgium. I always get that confused. My apologies if or was it Netherlands? Lisa Marie, your favorite blockhead. How are you guys doing today? And if you are over in Periscope land or YouTube, shoot me a comment. That way I know you're there. As we are restreaming, I don't get to see the interface of those. Free Candy, how you doing in Texas? Tally, how you doing? Oh, and our mod, Jennifer, is in Periscope land, ready to crack skulls. So she is swinging the band hammer. And if you guys don't watch yourselves over there, you will find yourself out. All right. Hippie of the Hills, how you doing? Right on. All right. Well, guys, I am happy that everybody's here, and I'm really excited. I have a few things that I want to discuss today. We'll see how we can get to them. From you're over in India. Well, namaste to you as well. Right on. The first knuckles and some bad jokes. Yes, bad jokes on me, certainly. I was laughing, guys. So far, I believe today's 40 episodes that I've been doing this in the format that we've been doing it in, and I'm really excited about that. But so far, I have not gotten myself into much trouble. Sure, I've said some things that I had a little bit of pushback on, but I haven't really said anything to get me in trouble yet. I'm sure it's coming. You can imagine if you're going to go live every day for a half an hour and talk about current events off the cuff, that you're probably going to say something stupid sooner or later. You're Jennifer. She's got the bad jokes. Oh, McLovin from Atlanta. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Long time no see. So, in doing this, I'm sure I will say something stupid, offensive, not right sooner or later. But as for right now, I'm going to continue to put myself out there and to speak frankly about things that I care about and give an honest opinion. And, if you just can't understand that and understand that social media, a lot of people are trying to be authentic. They're trying to be candid. They're trying to give you their feelings. And if you jump all over them and tell them that they're wrong, they're horrible, they shouldn't think that way, it is that sort of behavior that doesn't allow people to feel very good expressing themselves. Do you understand that we have all this technology in which we're supposed to connect and learn about each other and discover ideas and culture and all this creativity, and most people just use it to bark and bitch about each other? Obviously, if you're in self-development, if you're watching this show, you want to have an adult perspective and a growth mindset about the world around you, which allows you to navigate and maneuver through it successfully, framing things in a way that allows you to overcome. If you have a fixed mindset, then you're not really interested in hearing what other people have to say. Anyone who doesn't think the way you do is automatically wrong, and therefore you will not be able to upgrade your framework of the world, which puts you in a position where you will be stuck. That's on you. Now, there's a reason I bring that up, and I know I harp about it. I know I harp about it a lot, but I wanted to bring up really quickly the Westgate shooter. Now, there was a shooting that happened in Arizona in a place called Glendale yesterday. Are you guys familiar with it? Did you catch it in your Twitter trends? It's not a big story yet. I don't know if it will be a big story. The reason I don't know it's going to be a big story is because it doesn't fit the mainstream legacy, lamestream, negative news network garbage. They can't politicize it to fit one of their narratives to force you into their brainwashing agenda. Now, the reason it doesn't fit in the mainstream, well, Charlie, they usually are if they could fit them into their narrative. They're usually not when they can't. So this person, and I'm just going to give you the best of my ability to tell you what I saw. I believe this person is Latino, and I also believe that this person is from the left. And I also, from what I have seen, this person is LGBTQ people. So that's not going to fit the mainstream white domestic terrorist Nazi white supremacist narrative. So therefore, this might not get blown up, and they'll probably try to sweep this under the rug. However, you never know how these things go. Now, as I've mentioned on this show a million times, I'm not going to get into the political realm of it. But what I do want to talk about is what the media never talks about in these type of things, which is, can we start talking about the children who are doing this, who are clout chasing, who are looking to get notoriety? Because the person who did this, they filmed himself on Snapchat shooting up the Galleria. So it's a terrible thing. And why would a teenager who's taking revenge out on the world videotape them, social media themselves doing such a thing? Well, it is because they're looking for attention. You see, teenagers feel disconnected, and everything to them is magnified because their hormones are in full-blown just going crazy. And so because their hormones are full-blown, just pumping out all the chemicals and feeling nuts. You guys remember, you were teenagers. I can remember it like I was yesterday. I was incredibly insane. And I even started it at the beginning of this week about how when you're a teenager, your hormones are going so outrageous that it's difficult for you to see things or gain a perspective of how the world really is. You also don't have any other perspective other than the one that you're sitting in, with these raging chemicals going absolutely crazy. And so everything is overly dramatic. Think about all the pop music, especially like my favorite era of pop music is 60s doo-wop girl groups like the Shangri-Las and stuff like that, where every song is a melodramatic breakup song, and they were like these mini soap operas of turbulent relationships that were very bubblegum-esque in their makeup, and kids loved them. In fact, a lot of the punk rock bands that came in the 70s were trying to emulate these 3-minute melodramatic soap-romatic songs. So this just goes to show. See, Charlie, I'm losing your message. I'll bring it back here. So my purpose in going in that direction is to bring up the idea and and an understanding of how teenagers feel about the world around them. They are detached, they feel disconnected, they're looking for belonging. Everything is overly dramatic, and social media heightens that. It amplifies that. So it's even more detached. Everything is more dramatic. Everything is heightened. And you begin this, your world and your perspective of it gets distorted. The other thing about social media that is difficult and that we haven't addressed yet is how teenagers not are constantly bombarded with messaging that it certainly does amplify, and they're bombarded with messaging that can be unhealthy, and they find comfort and connection and community and toxic and toxic social media communities where their negative and detached and confused feelings are corroborated and then heightened. So why else then when you are in a rage would you go to shoot and make sure that your online communities are able to witness the destruction that you're putting out there? So in moving forward, when we can actually discuss this topic like adults, we can start to figure out how we're going to help our teenagers struggling with being so disconnected, being finding community in toxic environments that are encouraging this type of behavior. It's awful. Now, all the data that goes along with what I'm saying is prevalent. Jonathan Haidt has wrote about it in The Coddling of the American Mind. And one of the things that is difficult here is and this is, I guess, my point that I'm going to end on, and then I'm going to move forward, which is a lot of mainstream culture is celebrating the hedonic treadmill. It is celebrating the here and now and consumerism. A lot of children feel detached from that sort of thing, and it's difficult to be involved when that's the only messaging of what's popular and what's acceptance and what is accepted and what is mainstream for young folks. They need multiple messages. They also need other messages of empowerment, self-development, and they need to be able to hear those voices so they can rally about those other messages and know that there's other perspectives that are positive, that are welcoming, that they can gravitate towards. If you're going to censor every message that doesn't go along with the mainstream narrative, well, then how are these children who are lost, who are disconnected, going to be able to find themselves and find community that they can attach them to bring themselves out of the darkness? And so, if you cannot hear voices such as mine, such as Alexander Cortez, such as Zuby, who was recently censored, there's all these conservative voices, and those were just the ones I mentioned because they're in my Twitter circle. But there's all these conservative voices who have been struggling to be heard, who offer another message that perhaps some of these lost people, these lost kids, can identify and can attach themselves with and find some community that is constructive and positive that they would feel good about, rather than feeling that they don't fit in with the mainstream narrative. So therefore they are outcasts, where they find toxic community that amplifies their negativity, their rage, and their hatred for the world as a whole. So, boom, that's what I wanted to ended it on, especially for boys. Well, as Jennifer mentions, especially for boys, especially for girls too. It's just when boys hurt others in a violent fashion. For girls, they usually go on character assassination, but that's a whole nother one. But Jennifer, you're right in the fact that when boys are detached, when they are angry, when this gets to a head, they take it out on the society as a whole. And this is also the same in any other cultures. This is why if you're lost and you're in a area that is built around destruction, this is why gang life is so appealing. You have found a match for your rage and hatred and wants to be inclusion and community. There you go. I mean, so rather than trying to figure out, it's a shame to me that no one really wants to talk about the real problems, which is the mental health of our young people in this country, especially when we have realized that the technology has amplified a lot of those problems and magnified it, and yet we haven't addressed it. We just want to yell at each other and say, "Oh, it's gun this and gun that," and just propaganda agenda garbage. All right. So let's try to change the subject on a happier one, because this is happiness week. And sorry about all that rant, guys. But so now I do want to switch it into, I wanted to go in and talk a little bit about structure this week as well, because I talked a lot in the last few days about smiling and how important it is. And if you smile more, you are going to reap the benefits of that. You will reap the benefits of the energy that comes back to you, and you will also be reaping the benefits of the ripple effect of putting that positivity and energy out into the world. The other thing that I was mentioning that allowed me to be happier was finding structure in my life when I didn't have any structure. And yesterday somebody asked how I went about building structure. And I talked about a morning routine, but now I want to add to it. And I want to add something that I had learned about in Kevin Kruse's book, Leaders Have No Rules. And it's a structure tip that changed my whole life. And I have found with the way I am wired, the more structure I have, the better I am. And for a lot of people, this is why I think that anxiety and depression has been heightened in the social media information age, is because we have too much choice. Do I really need 20 different kinds of peanut butter? No, I need 2. I need a choice between crunchy and smooth. That's all I need. I don't need 20 different kinds of peanut butter. In fact, if I have to waste any more time than 3 seconds on deciding any sort of time wasted on with peanut butter choice, then that is time wasted I am never getting back. This is why I also enjoy Trader Joe's. They keep it simple. Some of these other places are so wide. Anyway, so here is the structure tip that I implemented in my life that really helped out. This is Kevin Kruse's structure tip, and he divides his day into the 3 C's. Now, I had done this and found ridiculous results because I realized that I am most productive and have the most energy in the morning, as you guys could probably tell. So he divides his day up into the 3 C's: creativity, collaboration, and connection. For me, the first part of my morning until noon is creativity. This is where I go, I get up, I do my full morning routine, drink some coffee, have my athletic greens, do a workout, take a shower, and then I jump here with Animal so we could talk to you guys. And I have figured out a way to implement the values that I need to hit in my life by noon. The values that I look to hit every day is health, creativity, learning, mindfulness, and humor. Those core values have engaged and indulged in by noon every day in the most productive part of my day. I do any writing, I do any deep work, I go live to you guys, any other videos that I need to make for the art of charm, I do be by noon. And anything else that I indulge in afterward is only icing on the cake. It's just extra. It's great. So that's the first C. That's the first part of my day. That's creativity. From noon till about 3 or 4, it's a little more loose after that point, is collaboration. This is where I try to schedule any of my meetings. I try to schedule any of my coaching calls, and I try to schedule any more loose work in which I will have to engage with other people. This way, my energy is not as high as it was in the morning, and I'm able to feed off the energy that will be created through work with other folks and in meetings. And I really enjoy that. And this gives me, my main work is done, and now I'm able to focus on extraneous stuff that would help me be a better collaborator. And then lastly, about 3, 4 on is connection. This is where I get up with family. I try to talk to friends. I try to reach out to anybody who I have missed. Organizing my day into those 3 parts has helped me be more productive than I probably have ever been, at least on a consistent basis. Also, within those 3 C categories, what I love doing is then scheduling everything on a time. There was no more to-do lists in my life. I had realized for myself, if I put together a to-do list, I will look at it and I will go, oh, well, it's not due till next week. I could do that later. And I just push things off, and then they start piling up, and then I get neglectful, and then I try to prioritize. It's a mess. So now what I do is I actually schedule the time for each one of those things that I would have put on a to-do list in order to just have it scheduled. It gets knocked out and it's just done. There's no more to-do list. And then anything that would need to have longer time of work that is more than 2 hours long, that I break it up. I look through my calendar, I look for when it is due, and I try to divide up that work so I am not overloaded with anything heavy that would beat me up mentally and emotionally for the rest of the day. And so I don't have to look at it sitting on my calendar dreading it. And I have realized at 46 years old in my life how much I can tolerate of doing one thing for at one time. And with that, I've been able to get more done. And when I'm productive, I am happy. When I am knocking things out, when I see each day that I'm moving a step closer to my life worth fighting for, and I have defined it that much more through the work that has been done, at the end of the day, I go to sleep easily. Why? Because I've been productive. I engaged with the core values that I need to engage in order to feel good. I didn't leave points on the field. Everything was done. And I have lined up my day that I'm excited to get to sleep so I can get started again the next day, because how my day is arranged is fun. It's exciting. It's productive. And so I hope if you were able to structure your day in a way that allows you to get excited about it, then building routine around your morning and evening bookend, begin and close out the day, you're more excited about those things because your day is structured, you're getting things done, and you're engaging in what's important to you. In order to find your core values, you will need to backwards rationalize from your life worth fighting for what those core values are. And perhaps we'll talk about that tomorrow. I will leave it there, and I'm going to go through the chats here. I want to thank Jennifer on Periscope because she's awesome and she keeps the peace over there. Hopefully her day wasn't so hard. And I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in today. Give Animal and myself some hearts. Let us know that we've done a great job. I'm going to go through this. I hope everyone is doing well and everyone has a lovely Thursday. Free candy, thank you very much. Have AJ put a shot collar on you. I don't know what that is in reference to, Tally, but that's a very possible thing. But you are smart and do not respond to your bad remarks. Well, thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. Oh, the shot collar, was that about me saying stupid things? I'll be saying a lot of stupid things on this show. And I hope that you guys are here to beat me up when I do say some stupid things. Listen, I want to have conversation, so make sure if I do challenge me, let's talk about it. Also, guys, if you enjoyed the bits about structure and core values, we have a program at the Art of Charm called Core Confidence. It is amazing. And also you can check that out by DMing me or going onto our website. Also, please check out the Communication Accelerator. It is all of our best bits from our online classrooms, live training programs, and the best of the best of the best guests on the podcast for over the last 14 years. That doesn't sound very happy. It is happiness week. Yeah, sorry about that. It's one of those things that I had to mention this morning. Man, you're talking about the Shangri-Las. This is the nicest thing I've seen all week. Thank you, Keller Hotel. The Shangri-Las. If you need to know, you might want to listen to them. I would suggest Walking in the Sand. She is such a lovely voice. Listen to the Shangri-Las. You want to get happy? Listen to the Shangri-Las today. I can't believe that you guys have now got me on social media singing to you in the Shangri-Las. What has all of this come to? All right, guys, I have an interview that I got to get on. You will kick me out of your class. Right on. All right, Charlie. All right, Tally, Jared Allen. Thank you, guys. Keller Hotel, Jennifer, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Yes.